Now, number 4, you need to pay in the agreed time frame. In other words, pay promptly. I can still remember that old saying that an army marches on its stomach. Well, what about the other one that says that reward sweetens labor? The whole point here is that if you refuse to pay your copywriter, then he or she isn't likely to give you his best work. It's just human nature. When you pay on time, you are saying that you appreciate your partner in business, which your copywriter is. So if you are not immediately satisfied with the work, then you should indicate the changes that need to be made. But don't hold his payment ransom by refusing the balance. Of course, every case must be judged on its own merit. But if you did your own research, well, it is hardly likely that a job could turn out so bad that you think that it doesn't deserve a fair reward. And so this brings us to the next point. Number 5, always be rational. Always be rational on how you critique the work that you receive. So if you send statements such as, I don't like the copy, or it's too boring, or I expected better, all of these statements are just too general to mean anything to the copywriter. You should be more specific and say something like, I think that you maybe should emphasize how unique our product is in the marketplace, or I think that you should strengthen the guarantee more. You see, all of these statements they are more specific and measurable. And you should also make it a point to indicate what you love about the copy before you state what you don't like about it. Remember that you're working with a human being, not a machine, who have and that copywriter have just given a piece of their soul on paper. So to be outright critical will surely hurt, the same way in which a writer's heart bleeds after his manuscripts come back from his editors. So remember that it is always easier to criticize what already exists than it is to create something from scratch. Keep that in mind. Number 6, you need to read the copy as a customer and not as a business owner. So after you've spent so much time on the creative side of the fence, it's sometimes hard to see your product from the customer side. So what may appear as second nature to you may be rocket science to the customer. And only the customer can really decide how effective the copy really is. And they normally do that with their credit cards. So when the sales copy is placed into operation, your sales will be the only acid test for the power of the copy. So whether you like the style, the language, or any other aspect of the copy, it doesn't matter as much as if it sells to the customer. And therefore, customers are the only concern. Remember that customers are only concerned about the benefits that they can get from your product, not really your image. And this is very hard pill, I know, for a lot of business owners to swallow, because they tend to take too much control away from their copywriters. Now, again, it goes back to an innate lack of respect for the copywriting profession, I find. Okay, number 7, you need to be very generous with your praise and update on sales. Give update on the sales. The majority of clients, they're going to receive the copy, they're going to make their payment, and unless they need to hire the copywriter again, they never make another contact. I think that you should send a thank you note, and especially when the copy sells well, you should inform your copywriter about your success. This would not only help your copywriter to improve his skill, and also may save you some money on your next project. Again, keep in mind that rewards sweeten labor, and a word of thanks can be very powerful indeed. Who should know more about the power of words than a copywriter? Finally, number 8. Remember that copywriting is only one number in your sales equation. There are other factors than the effectiveness of your copy that will determine how successful your sales are. I find that bad copy can sell a great product, but great copy cannot sell. Great copy cannot sell a bad product. So don't be too quick to blame your copywriter. I know some copywriters who would not take on your project if they think that your product will not sell. So this lack of sale may be as a result of a saturated market. Maybe there's a lot of competition in your field, bad timing, maybe it's a low perceived value of your product, and there are a bunch of other possibilities that go outside of the realm of just your sales copy. Now, if you carefully performed your market research before you created your product or service, then this shouldn't be a problem. But just be aware of it. And here's a final note that involves how you're going to rate your copy, your copywriter rather. Now, let's say that the copywriter wrote 100 letters that sold 10,000 products for a total of $500,000. That's $500,000. How would you compare that copywriter to one who wrote just one letter that sold an aircraft worth $1 million? Do you rate a copywriter, in other words, according to the total value of the products that he sold, or the number of letters, sales letters that he has written? Well, that must be left up to you as the client to decide. But just suffice it to say that some of the most famous mail order sales copy were done by copywriting students who wrote very few letters in total. Such is the case of The Lazy Man's Way to Riches, that sales letter or book that was written by Joe Cabo. And that book and copy for that book sold over 3 million books at $10 each. Now, according to copywriter Joe Sugarman, Joe Cabo, who was a student, he wrote this ad just right off of the top of his head, with any little editing done after the ad was released. Also, I'm told that Cabo wrote a few other ads apart from this one. Well, I guess that he didn't have to write much more ads after that. So he could basically live comfortably from just this one short sales copy. So as you shop around to hire a copywriter, you must look for not only talent, but experience as well. But even if a writer doesn't have years and years of copywriting experience, you may still be looking at a potential Joe Cabo. And therefore, in your search for a copywriter and working with a copywriter, I wish you success in your business.